All right, what's going on, everybody? Listen, I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and I stand on it. Arguing is weak. Arguing is emotional. If you argue, you are emotional, or at least you're in an emotional state when you're arguing. Listen, fellas, I get it. As men, we try to be problem solvers, right? We try to solve issues and get everything straight, right? However, one of the things that you must fully understand is that not everybody is going to see things the way that you see them. Everybody has a different mindset. And what you cannot do is force your mindset on somebody else. See, check this out. Ego is the biggest destroyer of men, in my opinion. Not, I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's up there. Your ego is your problem. A lot of guys can't walk away from an argument because of their ego. You feel like you feel. You see what I said? You feel like somebody attacked you. You feel like somebody disrespected you. You feel like you gotta have the last word. It's all emotional when you're arguing. Listen, walking away from an argument is the most powerful thing that you can do in regards to an argument. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? Listen, you cannot force your beliefs onto somebody. It doesn't matter if you're right. It's not all about being right. Listen, if your goal in an argument is to be right or is to prove that you're right, then you're emotional and you're letting your ego get the best of you. It's difficult to walk away. It's difficult to walk away when you're not emotionally intelligent. When you know that you're right, you don't have to try to force it onto somebody. Listen, this is what it is. You either believe me or you don't. You either agree with me or you don't. You either rocking with me or you not. And it's that simple. Walk away. But again, your ego gets in the way because somebody doesn't believe you and you feel challenged. Somebody doesn't agree with you and you feel violated. Somebody raises their voice at you and you feel disrespected. Arguing is weak. However, if you are weak and you don't understand how arguing is weak and you're around weak minded people, then arguing seems okay. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to argue. We're supposed to yell and scream in order to get our point across. Who can yell the loudest? Whose body language is more, and all of that. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, arguing is weak, period. Now, if you take this concept and put it into a relationship, then as a man, you're very weak if you're arguing with a woman. Arguing with a woman is like fighting a man. Like physically fighting a man is along the same lines of arguing with a woman because that's where a woman's power is, pretty much in her words. That's what women do. They use their words to either build you up or break you down. Okay, that's what women do. They're not physical like us. They're not gonna jump out and want to throw hands. Although I mean, some women do. Let's just be honest, right? Some women do, but for the most part, there's not many women that are gonna jump out there and want to physically challenge a man. So women do it with their words. And if you are an emotional man, you're gonna fall into that, and now you're going to go back and forth with her words. I'm telling you right now, if you can't walk away from a woman, or let me before walking away, right? If you cannot get a woman in your frame, meaning she wants to argue, there just needs to be a conversation, but she wants to argue, and then now you fall into her frame, you start yelling and screaming and back and forth and all of that. You're not a masculine man at all because you fell into her frame. If you are a masculine man, right, and you have influence of any sort over that woman, she's gonna fall into your frame. Whereas when she starts, yelling and screaming and blah blah blah, you're able to maintain your tone, right? Able to maintain your composure. You're able to hold on to your temper, right? Not yelling, screaming, all of this kind of stuff. And then she brings it down. You understand what I'm saying? She brings it down and meets you where you are. That's what a man does. If you start arguing with a woman and she calls you this or she says this and that and blah blah blah, now you feel like you got to yell and scream at her. Oh, you a weak man. You're no different than her. You fell into her frame. Y'all get what I'm saying? You fell into her frame. And so she was able to bring you over into her emotional state, and now you're arguing back and forth with her like a woman. You understand what I'm saying? If you're able to hold masculine frame, then you're not going to argue. You're going to say what it is that you have to say. She's either going to agree, disagree, whatever, and that's going to be that. What you going to do next? See, you don't have a next. That's what a lot of you guys' problem is. You're afraid to walk away. Listen, I always say this, okay? Always make an attempt to solve whatever the problem is. Always make an attempt, but you're not always going to be able to solve the problem, especially if you're dealing with somebody who is on an emotional roller coaster right now. They're up and down, up and down. They want to yell, scream, and all of this kind of stuff. You remain calm, cool, collected, and then they still da 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 da. Sometimes you just got to walk away. Sometimes the timing is not right. A part of being emotionally intelligent is understanding other people's emotions, not just being able to maintain yours, but understanding someone else's emotions and understanding, hey, you know what, the right thing to do right now is to just walk away, let them calm down, and we can come back and revisit this. But no, you got an ego. You got a big ego. And so now you want to yell and scream and meet them where they at because you're not going to let anybody out yell you, out talk you, out body language you. You're going to muscle up on somebody. Let me tell you something, man. That's a different type of mentality. I don't know what type of mentality it is. I don't know. Maybe maybe you just a street guy and you can't get that street out of you. So in your relationship, you got to bring the streets into your relationship. And so now you're going to muscle up on your lady. I don't know. Maybe you that street guy that out on the street you argue and this and that. Let me tell you something, man. It's a lot of time. See, once you get an argument going, you got to keep it going. Y'all get what I'm saying? You got to keep it going. At what point do you back down? Let me ask you a question, right? When you get into an argument with somebody, y'all don't agree with one another. They saying one thing, you saying something else, right? Y'all going back and forth. At what point do you just agree to disagree? Does it take 20 minutes? Does it take 45 minutes? Is it an hour and a half? How long do you go back and forth with someone before you get to the point where you say, all right, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree. You could have did that in the very beginning once you realize that y'all don't agree. Once you realize that you don't see eye to eye on whatever the situation is, all right, boom, let's just leave it alone. But no, you want to waste 20 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, all day, a week, a month. Now y'all don't speak because you don't see eye to eye. I mean, at what point do you just let bygones be bygones, as they say? I don't know what a bygone is, but that's just what I heard them say back in the day. Let bygones be bygones. Just let it be. It is what it is. But how long is that going to take? Y'all get what I'm trying to say? Arguing is the weakest form of communication that there is. Let your ego go. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about this or that or whatever the case may be. Take your ego out of it. Get your emotions out of it. Listen, you're not going to be able to solve every single problem, especially when everything is emotional. You know how many people right now locked up, doing time. Some people are in certain situations that they just can't come back from because they couldn't walk away from an argument. See, once it escalates, right, it's going to just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Your ego is not going to let you back down at some point. You understand what I'm saying? So now you got to keep going and keep going and keep going until you get to an end. And that end result, was it even worth whether you were right or wrong? Okay, so you didn't solve the problem. So you created a whole new problem and you still got the old problem in place? Arguing is weak, guys. It may make you feel weak because you walked away, because you didn't win the argument, because you didn't, I don't know, whatever it is you trying to feel. I don't know. But it's not worth it. Let it go. Whether you arguing with a dude on the street or you arguing with your old lady, especially with a woman. Arguing is weak, man. Don't argue. I'm telling you right now, don't argue with a woman. That I'm straight. Don't argue with a woman. Don't argue with your woman. It's not worth it. But hey, listen, some of y'all are not gonna agree, and that's fine. It is what it is. I'm just telling you that it's weak. You don't have to agree with me. We can agree to disagree. I don't have a problem with it. But I guess y'all could jump in my comment section and go ham. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good.